welcome back to Opaly Hour. So the channel is pretty much dedicated to model making, whether that's part works or standalone builds like you've seen me do before on the channel. The part works, I don't have many running at a time. I mean, a lot of it is affordability. They can work out to be quite expensive, and I think once you're committed to start building them, you need to make sure that you can stick with it the whole way through. So this is for Moomin issue 75. I do have, like I've said in the past, all the way up to 90. So I'm doing it in 5 issue chunks. After this though, I will put up a separate video of the house and where it's at and how it's built. I have done some things which it doesn't come with, like the lighting. I think I've said this before, so if you've seen it, and I'll show you how I did that. And I have stuck the floors together because of that before that they said to do so. That said, as I'm making these side panels here, I am not attaching them to the house, but I am making sure that they fit well, because I know because of the lighting, it goes underneath the it goes basically between the flooring and the ceiling of the house below it, so it could be a bit lumpy, so it might work to be a bit of a problem on, you know, some of the connections here, but so far so good. We've managed to get around that. So issue 75 is away from the wall. Like I said, the first one I believe is this one that we've built. We will be doing 3 windows for it, and in this issue we will be starting those. So as you can see, it is these ones. We are going to be doing one with the triangle and then one with the semicircle. We won't need any parts from the last issue as far as I'm aware. We are just going to be making these, but you will need to paint them. For me, I'm going to be using acrylic markers. I'm using a different brand just because the white on the other set that I tend to use runs out quite quick. So these ones I'm just using, I bought a packet of these markers. They're different sizes, and I'll probably, for the purposes of this, use this one here. Alright, so what this one has on order, make sure I only turned one page, is Grump, which is a grumpy character with a secret. I will say this, Moonins like their secrets. We also have talking about going on a sea voyage, so they're doing something different to a remote island, and then we get into the build itself and how we're going to do this. So as you can see, we have some brown parts. We are going to be painting the interior of those brown parts when they're put together, so that they are white, and we get all the way to putting the glass in, plastic, making sure that we take off the covers because it has protective cover, and then putting in window sills, that type of thing, and completing both of these and then labelling them at the end. And that will take us to the end of 75. So here are the pieces that we have for this. We have, as you can see, the semicircle top and the parts for that. I'm looking for where the triangular one is, and I'm not seeing that so much. I'm sure it must be here. Maybe I knocked it and put it somewhere else, because we definitely got 2 pieces of paper here. Then we got one of these, the semicircle one here, got a couple of these, and another frame. So I'm probably going to make both frames at the same time so that I can get them with the marker and then get on with it. I'm going to put these pieces here back. Actually, I'm going to put them, I was going to say I'll put them in here, but they're just too big. I'm going to put them back into here so that I know where they are. Okay, and put that to one side. I need to go and see where the other frame is, but maybe it's just different. I will have a look. I will look ahead. So first things first, move all the white stuff out the way, and we will concentrate on these frames. So let me get that set up to do that. Okay, so I will show you this. I worked it out. We have them attached to each other. There we go, 2 separate ones. Took me a moment, but there they are. All right, let me get this frame set up, ready to go. Alright, so we have 4 of the what they class as the vertical strips, which will be the sides of the windows, and then we have 4. All of them have a beveled piece here. Let me actually zoom you in as well. Let's see. So you can see that they have a lip here, and it is a semicircle in shape. Lost the camera again because I do that a lot. So all 4 of these are the same, and we will be needing 2 of these and 2 of these for each frame. So I'll show you on one how I'm going to put that together. So you have them facing, just make sure that they are the same either side. Yes, they are. So you have them kind of facing you here, and with the holes, these holes facing upwards, then you will put in the semicircle so that that is also pointing upwards as such. This one, you want the piece with the lip on the inside, so like here, and again the lip, whoops, on the inside, so up this way, and we will put them all together and then paint the inside. So let's make a start on that. I love doing windows. I really do like to, I know I seem to complain an awful lot about my builds, but I actually really do find them very therapeutic. Some elements, sure, a little bit on the old irritating side. So what they want you to do is attach the bottom piece, which I got here, in first. Just put in plenty of glue in there, and then I will wipe it off, because even with markers that I'm using, it can stain it. So I'm just making sure that I have this the right way around. Ease it on, and if there's any excess, like I say, I will be taking that off. Let me just get a tissue actually to do that, and I just want to make sure that that's pushed all the way down as far as I can get it, which it is. And like I say, because I'm going to be using marker on it, and it would be the same with paint, it doesn't make any difference. You don't want it to be touching the glue, it just doesn't take as well. And then what we're going to do is put that to one side. So you can see I've got the curved side, the curve here, on the same side as this, and with the lip, and you see a difference in here, on the bottom here showing, and the flat literally on the bottom, so it's like that. I'm going to pop this one in, and again make sure it's all the way down, and clean any excess glue off. And then I'm going to give that a moment to dry, and we will get the other one set up. And then I'll show you a little bit of what I do with the pens, and then just get on with it and show you the end result before we start putting all the rest of the pieces on. Just want to get this out as much as I can, because like I say, it does affect the paint. And then this one, when you put this one on, you want to make sure it doesn't look like it's fully in. There we go. I actually felt a click on it as well. You want to make sure that this one is facing the same way. So in this case, the ridge will be on the inside, so it will be going in this way, and again the circle pointing in the same direction as where those holes are. So get this one in here. Okay, glue, let's not have you doing that. And I want to put plenty in, even though I do lose some. It's better to have more than less. And like I say, make sure your curve is facing the right way. And then I'll put the other one together and give them a few minutes to set up somewhat. Don't do what I just did, put too much pressure on in the wrong places. And get this glue tightened up from the inside here. And literally put it to one side. I'm just going to put it up top here, out the way. It's out of camera view, but it's right near me. Just making sure that that glue is all, and it's in proper, so it's looks all right. So I'm going to get this one done, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to start painting, which I'm going to let it dry for a few minutes, in order to do that. So let me get this one done and I will be back in probably 10 minutes for me, probably a few seconds for you. Alright, so let's take this first one that I put together, and all you're doing is painting basically on the inside. So for me, I'm, like I say, I'm using markers. I find that a little easier, although this one is not for the give-in, it seems. I just have to use a smaller one. Let me get a smaller one. Don't think that one could go into all the corners there. Gosh, just getting the lids off half this stuff, I tell you. Alright, so make sure you get into the corners as best you can. And like I said, kind of why I like these is when you're doing things like where you need to put certainly hinges on and button type accessories. These don't work as well as the other ones I had, but anyway, you kind of need to, I mean, it just means that there's no residue build up, which is kind of what you get when you do paint, or what I got. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of techniques. I mean, I watered it down, I tried all those ways, just kind of unsuccessfully really. I reckon I'm going to be using in between the bigger one and the smaller one for this, because this will be fine for the bigger one and it will coat it easier. Maybe I'll get the little one to that corner there. And just make sure you get all the way in. You don't need to get into the grooves or anything, but I am going to make sure that I get in there. So maybe I'll do that first, get onto this. Although these ends you need the little one for really, because the bigger one can't get into the areas. Okay, and I'm going to use the bigger one. Never ever leave the lids off like I'm doing, because they will dry up. I'm sure you know all that, right? Of course you do. This will need a second coating. It's white, so white is one of those things. Won't matter too much that you have it on the outside if you do get some on there, because it is all going to be covered up with window parts, which we have plenty of to be fitting in, which we will separate out for the various windows. So you make, basically what you're doing is you do two identical like this up until you put the glass in, and then it kind of separates out. This one's not quite in, so let me get that sorted a bit better. Anyway, I'm going to paint this one, and I will be back to put the glass in when it's all dry and it's had another coat. It's going to need two. Okay, so I thought I was recording and I wasn't, so let me go over what I did. So on here, these windows have a slanted edge, I think you could just about see it there, and a straight edge. You want to have the slanted edge on your work surface and then apply glue to fit the window. What I did was put a little bit of the B7000 on each corner. They say do super glue, but I put it on each corner and then the tiny dots in between. And then those, line it, make sure you line it up well, because the next part is putting it into the frame. So I am going to see, hopefully, that I can do that and get some glue in here. I might even have put glue in this one, I actually can't remember now. And you're going to push it quite the way down. And again, it's going to go flat side in, so the beveled is upright. Let me just make sure that I've got that right. It says plastic panel on the inside, so it's going to go the opposite way round, like so. And push that in. And that seems fine. Let me get this other one off the thingy, magicky doobie what's it, clamp, that's the word. Alright, and again put paint on here, and you want the plastic, it says, on the inside. And it looks alright. I mean, it looks, I think I've done it right because it's very straight on that edge. And this glue can go away. And this, I don't think is 100% right. So plastic on the inside. So I'll go something like this. Oh, yeah, it did. And make sure it's all the way down. If you want to, you can probably clamp it. I don't think it's that necessary. Seems to be alright. And it looks alright on the inside. Get a bit of fluff off there. And here. Where it's howling up here. Now this piece does not want to come off. Come here. There's a tiny little piece just here. There we go. And again, just making sure my windows are reasonably clear. Okay, gonna get a tissue, get them clean. Although sometimes I think getting the tissue leaves enough marks. Alright, so let's not messing with that. Next, this is where it starts to change, I believe. So we get up to this stage and then we will be working on one and not the other one. So first of all, we will be starting to use these pieces. So let's see what we have. So we've got two of these white round ones like this. We got one which is a bit thicker with some pattern on it. And we have another one which is similar but not as deep, like this. And then we have this one which looks like it's going to match this one here. Just put those against each other, haha. Those two together, and these two probably are together also. Yep, and those are together. So these are considered, let's see, they're cornices for sure. And then we have the detailing, which are this and this. I'm not too worried about that. We have the flat piece, which is, I'm trying to see what that's actually called. Can't even see it on the list. Top strip, maybe? Oh, I see. Okay, we're gonna have some cutting to do to get that right, but we'll do that in a little bit when I'm told to. And then we have the other two pieces of the frame which are here. So first of all, we are going to need one of these cornices and one of the bigger ones. So this one is considered the bottom, the smaller one, and the other one is considered the top. So the one with like 3 steps, you can see, compared to the rounded edging one. So we need the lower panel and we need the top panel, and it's facing, it says the way that I have it. Just checking that. Okay, alright, let me get this page turned over. And then what we're going to do is on the circular one, this one, we are going to apply this small piece to the bottom with the angle down here. It says align and press down firmly. Attach the lower moulding to the first floor surrounded with super glue, which I probably will use for this case, and you want it basically to move the frame a little bit into it. So we're going to be squeezing that frame into it like so. So it'll be flat at the bottom, squeeze that into it. So I will be using super glue, and I will be using the power gel because it's easier to put in position. Get my wording together. just a little bit, don't need a ton. Well, maybe need a little bit more because we want it to line up well, and you want it to have the more rounded part of the pattern down like this. So let's see if I can be as it wants to attach to me because I dropped it. Well, I'm going to be starting this again because I'm very sticky on this thing now, and I don't know that it's going to take. So you want the flatter part of the seal up here. Should have just carried on doing it without super glue, huh? Directly you get super glue in me, it doesn't seem to be a thing. Alright, so I'm just holding this in place. So it should curve. And like I say, you wanted the flatter part towards the top here. So let me see if I can show you. So the flat part like this. And then this lined up. Hopefully with the bottom. Problem with super glue, I can't move it now. Okay. It's okay. So that's what those are for. Then next we put on this flat piece here. And it has to go, make sure it goes all the way to the window edge. So it's going to reach to these points here rather than stopping, I believe. Let me just check that. Yes, so it's going to go flat on here and then all the way to that edge. So again, it's going to want quick drying glue, super glue. And I just run that along here and get that in. Definitely got a dirtier side and not a dirtier side on that one, so, and hold it down. You don't need to hold it for about 10 seconds or so. And then we're going to put the top one in next. And that one's also going to need to be kind of curved with the top here. So that's on, and you can see that looks like that. Pretty happy with that. In this one, when you put it on, you've got a square side, which you're going to want at the top, and the curved part of this, seeing if you can see that well, just about, is going to be on the window, and you're going to push the window into it like we did last time for the bottom part. I'm going to run this a little bit because it's kind of shaping the window. Right, let's try not to drop it this time, huh? Right, and with Power Gel you do have a little bit of time to line it up and everything, so it doesn't dry instantly. Gosh, fidgeting with this. Right, and now when you get it in position, hopefully right, just hold it there. I could have done, got a little bit of movement on the super glue, that was good. Ah, too much. Okay, and then hold it there for about, probably about 10-20 seconds, and it should not work because I was moving this one about too much. That was my fault. So I even removed some of the paint from it. How rude. Oh, come on, don't do that. Right, let's try this again. And that's the problem, if you don't get it right with super glue, you're kind of done for, really. Alright, just going to hold this together. All sticking together here. Good times. Alright, so count away, do your thing. And this will be here. And then we're going to put the little arch around here. Oh, it's really not sticking. It's stuck on the corners, just not in here. So I'm going to put more in there, and then I'm going to clear up the excess so it doesn't show. I'm sure there's lots of wonderful ways to make this. And then next we are going to put the arch here on and then attach it to the frame this side. I don't know if it matters which way that the frame is. I really don't know. This one's for the first floor. This really doesn't want to stick in there. I am going to go and get a paper clip and just stick this together with that, and then leave it for a little bit, because the super glue inside is actually still drying, so it's not totally dry. Should be right now, right? You'd think. And put a couple of bulldog clips on here. Move along, mate. Make room. And see if that will do it. Otherwise, I am going to be using the B7000. I am putting this along with this to one side and this. We will do that afterwards, and we will start on this. So we just want to make sure that that one's dry. Okay, so similar, we will be doing this frame. So we will start with, let's see, the smaller moulding at the bottom. I mean, pretty much exactly what we just did, really. The smaller moulding with the curvature at the bottom. I swear the reason this doesn't stick is because I keep dropping things, and then I end up with most of the super glue on me rather than on the model itself. And you want to line this up with the bottom, not the window bottom, but it is the same principle. And super glue, of course, takes forever to come off you. Whoops, that was not what I was meant to do. Wow, this isn't lined up at all. Right, let me see if I can ease that off without breaking everything, other than taking all the paintwork off. Let's try this again. Fortunately, most of it gets covered up. Well, the good news is we got lots of these to make, so I'm guessing you can only get easier with time and practice. Okay, happy with that. I'm going to use some bulldog clips. Now I know that there's some white showing there. It's stripped the paint, not white, but other stuff that stripped it. I'm aware. But the way I'm looking at this is that we are going to be putting in another part to that. And also, I want to use the ones that are already more open than not for this. Okay, and that can sit there, but we are going to put the top one in. So let me get me a couple of clips and some more paper ready to roll, because I think we will need it, and then we'll come back and do that windowsill. Okay, so let's see. So this one, again, exactly the same as the other. You want the flat part pointing upwards on here like this, and the curve going against the wood for us to be able to hopefully manipulate it. Maybe if I put it on here, maybe, I don't want to, you know, jinx this, but maybe it will work better. When you are comfortable where it is, give it a press and let my finger go. A little bit of it's dropped just a tiny bit there. Oh, sticking to it all over the show. This one looks like it's taken much better than the other one, so but I'm still going to do that, and we're going to give it a moment, and we're going to let all that dry off before I put this one together over here first, and then we will come back to this one. And I didn't actually attach that I was going to, or if I did, it popped off. This we're also going to be breaking, so let me put all that to one side. Alright, I will be back in a few. Going to tidy up some of this. Going to need the super glue, won't be needing the B7000, won't be needing the tweezers, won't be needing the markers. Alright, okay, I will be back. Alright, so that should have had long enough. Let's take these off. And we are almost done with this. So I'm going to put this little piece on. Again, it's my super glue. So I'm going to glue the piece of wood it's going onto, just in a few spots. I mean, that's the other thing with the power gel, is you can be really specific and it doesn't run all over the show. And line that up to be like that. A little bit of pressure should be enough. Hopefully you can even see what I just did there, because I'm not sure that I lined it up at all for the camera. And then we will put, let's see, it's the side with these that this goes on, and again it's going to want you to do super glue, and I can see this has not stuck. It's been a real stinker. And I can understand why. I mean, why would you know? Why would you, right? So I'm not going to put this one on. I'll put the other one on instead. Kind of want it on both of these pieces, really, because I'm going to put two clips on, and I just don't want the clip sticking to it. Do that. We kind of want it on the edge, don't we? Oh, again, you can't see everything I'm doing. So I'm just super gluing this back down on that curve again. I can see that's not even doing it even then. Oh, and I'm starting to get marks on it. I hate super glue, I really do. Right, I'm going to let that dry open. We're going to come back to this one. I'm going to have to paint over here because the super glue started to mark. So let's do this one instead. Doesn't matter which frame we're using. Let's hope that this one's taken, as I ping things all the way off. That's fine. This one is fine too. So this one needs the window sill still. So I'm going to add that, which is just as well, because it can cover up this unsightly mark here. I'm actually going to use B7000 on that other one. I have more faith in it, really. Oh my goodness. So I put this one on and I put it round the wrong way. You need the flat bit at the top. So I'm going to go fix that. Alright, so patience, patience, patience. So it is not looking pretty. It's going to need some definite touch up with marker. Now I'm going to try to put this on. I hope when I do the next lot of windows that I do a darn sight better job. Maybe lesson learned and all that sort of thing. I did manage to get it apart, even though it's super glue. It did break some of the wood off, as we suspected, but I'm hoping that the windowsill will cover most of that, especially if I have it even. Well, you know, I wouldn't want this windowsill because I reckon it's going to let the rain. I'm just going there. Just shows if it's not perfect, don't let it ruin your day. This little hole gap here you can see is where that wood came off from the super glue. Alright, so what we were going to do next is to cut these pieces out. Sweetness. And rub them down, and they are going to be stuck together and then put over this one here. So all I'm doing is cutting through here. Probably going to need a new blade, I reckon. Wow. And you could just about see the other side where the lines are. Okay. And the piece it's coming off of, you are actually going to be thrown away. The little middle piece here. Got one off, this one isn't as keen. There we go. It's like it wasn't quite all the way through. Anyway, that's for throwing. Right, sandpaper and hit this. It's all very nice and intricate, huh? With this, what they suggest is that you join these edges first, like so, but at the smaller ends, so like so, because they are beveled, and then you stick them onto the window like so. I guess it's on the top here because they are a little bit beveled like this. Is that right? Let me just check that I'm not going crazy. And it is the curved side which is going towards the back here, so like this. I'm going to do B7000 for this because I think we're going to need some manoeuvrability. And then I will hold that in place. Like I say, super glue has its place, don't get me wrong, it really does. A little bit on the corners here, and up here, and a little bit on this edge there, and a little bit on this edge here, and that will be done. And then I guess the other piece goes inside that. I think that's what's happening here. So you want the beveled side towards the back, so it's like this. And let's get this other piece on. Oh, that doesn't even, oh, it's got the wrong way round. Duh. Good old B7000, thank God for that. And then just join them up and leave those a moment also to dry, making sure that they are properly sorted out, which they at the moment really want to attach to me more than the model itself. This wasn't meant to be a long video, shock horror. Alright, so that is in. It does look okay. I'm guessing this piece goes right in between there, so I'm going to do that before that all dries, put it in and then leave it to one side for a little bit. That will probably help this dry properly anyway. And then, like I say, I'm gonna probably have to pretty this up a little bit with markers because I haven't done a fantastic job of, and then just make sure it's all lined up at the front there like that. Is that how it's meant to be? This is the question. I think it's meant to be more forward than that. looks about how the picture looks. Just make it level on the back. We have done so. And that will go against the house. And then we are going to put it onto the wood, the frame, this way round, like so. And again, I'm going to use B7000 for that, and hope and pray we are doing it right. A little bit in the middle. And the only reason B7000 rather than super glue is just because I have a little bit more control with it. And if you make an error, it's not catastrophic as it is with super glue. Just making sure this is all lined up, which it's not. But now it is. I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm going to pretty it up with some marker and stuff, and we should be okay. I'll hold this down as well with some clamps because it wants to move, because it is B7000, it doesn't dry straight away. I want to also make sure it's lined up proper, which it is. I'm going to hold it with some clamps on either side as it pings everywhere. I mean, do you mind? I mean, I'd rather give it longer for it to dry with the B7000 and not ruin it. So that's going to one side for the moment. And then we're going to bring this one back, which has also been clamped, and again is going to need sorting as far as edges. And again, make sure you're the right way up. And this one can go on, and I'm probably going to have to get some more clamps because I know I don't have enough here. And again, line this up. And again, like I say, I am going to pretty it up with some marker, get rid of any things, but I've got to wait till it dries. This one's gone on quite evenly. It's the only bit that kind of worked on this, wasn't it, really? These windows have been more of a nightmare than they should have been. Let me go and get some more brackets. Alright, just going to get this done, and then I will come back and when it's all dry, tidy it up a little bit and show you how it looks. This one came off when I put the clamp on, and because it's B7000, it takes about 20 minutes or so to dry, using slightly harder clamps here than what I have been using. Ooh. Don't want to damage any of this either. I'm not going to put one on the bottom sill. Okay, put that to one side. And how are you looking? Not terrible. Put one of these firmer clips up here. And a smaller clip down here, which isn't so harsh. Isn't so strong, more than harsh. I'm going to take one of these small ones off and use it on this other one. And switch those out, basically. Okay, I will be back in a little bit in a few seconds your time. And a few minutes my time, and it will be once I have tidied them up, got all the brackets off. Alright, so I am back. Took the pup for a walk, gave this a chance to dry. Overall, I'm happy with the result. This one is the ground floor, this is the first floor, and I'm pretty certain it's going to be on that side that I showed you. So the errors are, this one looks really nasty at the bottom. Fortunately, it is at the bottom, and this one is it's not terrible, but it's not great at the top. If I put them together, they'd be perfect, right? Because this one's really good at the bottom. So I'm really happy with that. Anyway, that's where we are, and our windows are in and in the right way. So I'm really happy with the overall result. Won't get to make any of these again for probably another 4 or 5 weeks. So let's put these to one side. Well, 4 or 5 weeks, or 4 or 5 issues at least. I'm doing a little gap in between each batch of 5, and then I am doing another model, and then coming back and doing another 5. So what we did today was build this wall, I believe, the inside of it, and these 2 windows. You could just about see it, one there and one here. Those are the 2 windows that we did. So what do we have coming up in 76 when we get to this next? Let me zoom out a bit so that you can see this. All right, so here we are. Oh, I've got to put it down more. Okay, let me get my tablets out the way. That's what you don't want to see. Probably move the camera somehow. Anyway, we're going to do Moomin 76, and we will be starting on probably maybe this wall. I don't know. It's got the door in the middle. I'm trying to think of, maybe it's not this wall. Anyway, we are starting on the ground floor of whichever wall this will be, and I will have a look. And we are also doing the 2nd floor window of the build that we started today. So this one up here. And that will be all the windows for that side done. All right, so one last thing that they want you to do is just label these windows so you know which issue it comes out of. So I've written it, they say plant it on the window. I'm not going to do that. I've just written the number 75 on some masking tape. I'm just going to pop it onto the wood at the back here. Anyway, all that's left for me to say is I do wish you well with this build. It is a really good build. And do remember to like and subscribe. I appreciate it immensely. And I look forward to seeing you with issue 76, and hopefully with the actual video of the Moomin house, how far I've got so far. Just like I say, remember to like and subscribe if you can. And also, if you've got any comments, please do leave them. I will get back to you. Or you can email me at opaleehour@outlook.com. And main thing, please take care of yourselves. All right, take care now. Bye bye now.